Good evening, everybody out there on Twitch, and good evening, everybody out there on Reddit. As you can see from the announcement, that it's a very sad day for Reddit. Or the announcement was made yesterday that Reddit have decided they're going to stop streaming. You know, who could have guessed that was coming? Ever since they said they were going to fix the problems with streaming, so Reddit are going to stop streaming. So November the 15th is the last time you'll see anybody streaming on Reddit. We'll be streaming that day. I don't know what day of the week that is. What day of the week is that, Mickey? It's a Tuesday, so we'll have to make a special effort and stream that day.
Yeah, right.
Just because it's Reddit's last day. I think it's the end of. I think that's the end. That's the end day. Oh no, we'll stream on the 14th. Fuck it, we'll stream on the 14th and have done with it, shall we?
On the Monday, yeah, we'll do the Monday.
Yeah, do it on the Monday and have done with it. We don't need it on the. We don't need it on the Tuesday. I mean, you can tell how riveting it is on Reddit. We've got 2 watchers.
Yeah, it's probably me and you.
So there we go. 2 watchers. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. 2 bloody watchers. Right, Mickey, what have you been up to, mate?
Not a lot today. What did I do yesterday? Something I did yesterday. Oh no, wife had a day off, so a bit of Christmas shopping yesterday. Just locally, because I don't know about where you are, Steve, but it absolutely bucketed down all day yesterday.
Yes, it did. It did. It did here as well. We had yellow warnings.
So yeah, we just popped down the industrial estate, did a little bit of shopping. Got a few little bits and pieces.
I do all my Christmas shopping online now. It's at Amazon. In fact, it's the time of year, right, that if I don't get an Amazon parcel a day, on the days that I don't get Amazon parcels, the Amazon driver knocks on the door to ask if I'm dead.
Yeah. I do a lot of ours on Amazon now, to be fair.
I love Amazon, same day delivery.
Well, what we got to do, I mean, my son-in-law, my daughter, my grandson, they've all got their Amazon lists, and we just look on there and pick from there, you see.
Yep, that's exactly what I do.
Obviously, once you buy it, that knocks it off their list, or doesn't allow anybody else to buy it, so they don't get 2 or 3 of the same item. So, yeah, that's...
And not only that, because I've got an Amazon Prime account, I can share it with members of my family.
Yeah.
So they get the advantage of the cheap next day delivery. So I love that.
Next day delivery, like your quilt, a fucking 10 days.
Yeah, well, that was fucking unbelievable. That was. I've ordered another quilt. I've ordered another quilt which should be here Monday. I ordered that yesterday. See how long that takes to arrive. Trouble is, it's not Amazon themselves, is it? It's a marketplace seller.
No, that was a trader. That one, yeah.
So I'll forgive them that. But most things I get on Amazon, like I wanted a shelf to put my completed models on. Only a little tiny shelf, and I found one on Amazon and I ordered it this morning, and it's here already.
You get same day, do you?
Yeah.
We don't here. It's next day. Never. The
no,
same
that's because you're in the arsehole of the world, isn't it?
Well, that's it. Yeah.
Where I am, Amazon's main distribution depot from South London. It's only about 4 miles from here. Right. We get same day delivery. I ordered it at 11 o'clock this morning, from the hospital, and it arrived about 8:30 this evening.
Good going.
Totally free, and all my family get it as well because they're sharing my Prime account.
Yeah.
That's one of the big boys. That's one of the big boys' toys we can talk about, isn't it?
It certainly is.
Because Reddit will join in with that discussion. As soon as you mention Amazon, they literally rush to their keyboards to type, don't they?
Yep. Hello, best pal. You all right, mate?
Good evening, best pal. You were having a bit of, just before we came on air, you were having a bit of bitch, weren't you? Weren't you?
Who was? I was.
Yeah, you were about Facebook.
Yeah, I was actually. Yeah, I was just saying that we were talking on here about modelling and model building and what have you. And lo and behold, the past few days, my timeline has been flooded with adverts for Hobbycraft, which is a retailer of fucking models. No,
Yeah.
I'm not banned on Facebook, mate. I'm a good boy.
It's me that's banned on Facebook.
I don't know why they keep me on there, but I only post shit. It is, yeah, it is spying on me, best pal.
I told you.
Because
I told you.
because I've never mentioned it on Facebook, and yet I'm still getting adverts for model kits.
Have you
So
started that model making yet?
no, I've been busy.
What were you doing today then?
Well, actually, I've been outside. I don't know if you've got an outside gas meter, but we have on the side of the house.
Yeah, we have.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I do pay as you go. So anyway, I
Okay.
put money on the meter the other day, and it didn't register. I had to go out and type it in manually. Well, I
Oh,
went
okay.
out there, discovered that the front door of the cabinet
Yeah.
was missing, laying on the floor. And
Okay.
believe it or not, I mean, the lock that locks it was missing.
Okay.
Now, now, I live on a council estate, but I'd have thought that was the last thing that somebody would nick was the lock out of your fucking gas box. So anyway, I've um, I've been out there today, put a new lock in it. The one I got was slightly big, so I had to ream it out. And as usual, you never got the right size fucking drill. So yeah, that's what I've been doing, fucking about outside.
Okay.
It's a bit cooler today as well.
Okay.
I was a random and I've seen single girls in my ad. Yeah, I get that every time I go on YouTube. You get it at the top.
Yeah.
Beautiful Ukrainian girls, would like to
Yeah.
meet you. I bet they fucking would.
But I'd
When you
like
get
to
to
meet
meet them,
your passport.
they're
They
probably
want to meet
about
you.
fucking eight. Yeah, it
They want
is.
to meet
Yeah,
your passport, Mickey.
that's all they
So,
want.
right, look, we said tonight on tonight's stream we're going to talk about cars and motorbikes and big boys stuff. So my first car was a Mini. My first car was a Mini 975cc with a floor starter.
Ditto,
Eh?
ditto. So was mine.
Uh,
And the gear stick was so long.
yeah, it was a pudding
Put it
stirrer.
in the reverse. I had to pull the fucking seat back because it was that
Yeah,
sloppy.
yeah, yeah.
Seriously, yeah. I had to
And it
push the
had,
seat back.
mine had a go faster stripe. Mine was light blue with a black go faster stripe running up the
I know,
bonnet,
John.
over the roof, and good night, Donna, and down the back. But
Yeah.
the thing I remember about that Mini the most was, right, is that it didn't have the chromic glass that we've got in modern cars, which meant in the summer, the heat inside the car would be magnified by the glass. And I had vinyl seats and vinyl steering wheels.
Yeah.
And you had to open up your car with a key, because none of this pressing your button to do it. You had to go up there, open the car with your key, burn your hand on the handle, open up the door, and then run like fuck to avoid the hot air blast.
Did you have the
Right?
little stringy door handles on the inside? You pulled a bit of fucking string rather than a proper door handle?
No, I had those horrible metal flip up and down things, you
Ah,
know.
right, yeah. I had the old
Yeah,
stringy ones you pulled down.
and
It was like a bit,
I had
bit of
the,
washing line.
I had the quarter light driver's window. You had to press a button and turn it to
Yeah,
pop it
yeah,
open. But you had to open up the door and you had to run to escape the heat blast.
yeah.
And then you had to go and put a towel or something over the seat before you could sit in it. And my Mini was so old it never had a headrest, and it only had the front seat belt, none in the rear. And it had a floor, it had a choke, and a floor starter.
Yeah.
That was a lovely car. We put a Morris. We took a Morris 1300 engine, and we put that in there. The engine and gearbox. Oh my God, did it go? Do you remember the 1100s and 1300s?
I certainly did.
Yeah,
I
we
certainly did.
transplanted a 1300 engine into that. Jesus, did it go? But it was so fucking unstable. And the worst thing about that Mini was every time it rained, my feet got wet.
Ah, you had the Flintstones version.
Yeah, it would rust where where the floor pan met the wing.
Yeah.
It would rust. It was a well-known thing with Winnies. And in them days, I mean, this is the mid '70s. In them days, uh, fiberglass kits that you can buy nowadays weren't that easy to get hold of.
You could
So
get a
yeah,
whole front end for a Mini, but it was that
yeah,
fucking wobbly
yeah.
fiberglass one.
I mean, if it happened nowadays, I'd just fiberglass over it
Yeah.
because you can get the fiberglass done and sorted. But that was my first car, and I love that car. Um, Unfortunately, putting a bigger engine in it was a bit of a mistake because I eventually ruined the car because the engine just pulled the subframe apart. The torque on the engine just pulled the subframe apart, and in the end, I scrapped it. I mean, it was starting to get the door sills were going, the sills were virtually everywhere on the Mini was rusting underneath. I took it for its MOT, and the guy said to me, he said, "There's no way you're going to get this past an MOT." He said, "You won't be able to repair it." He said, "You're better off just scrapping it. This is the MOT tester." And I thought, yeah, you're right, and I did. I just scrapped it.
You know, you can buy or you could buy every single panel for a Mini. Every
Yeah,
single one, including the floor.
yeah, but I mean,
Every single panel you could buy. Yeah. But my old Mini, that had a dynamo in mine. I don't know if you had the alternator or a
yeah, yeah, yeah,
dynamo in
yeah, yeah,
yours.
yeah.
But you sit at the traffic lights, and the fucking lights were like two little candles. You had to rev
Yeah,
it up so you could
yeah,
see where you're
yeah.
going. Yeah.
In the summer,
And
you
the
had to
floor
put
dip switch as well.
yeah, that's right. And in the summer, you had to put the heating on and blow the heating through the vents at full blast to keep the engine cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
A drunk driver crashed into my wife's car and flipped it with her inside it the other day. Best pal, you really haven't got a lot of luck with cars, have you?
Yeah, and has he? Huh?
No, he secretly buys lots of cars, and he's got that. It's just,
Is she all
well,
right though? That's
yeah.
that's the main thing. Is she all right? Huh?
Uh, you two viewers on Reddit, right? You make the most of this because in 11 days' time, there'll be no streaming on RPAN. There'll
Broke
be
her
no
ankle.
streaming. Reddit have dumped RPAN. Look at the notice. Reddit have
Yeah.
said, fuck off, streamers. We don't want you.
Yeah, we don't want you.
So you two viewers there, you make the most of this. If you want to come and see us, we're
I
on Twitch.
thought RPAN was part of Reddit, or was it not?
It is, yeah. It's RPAN is a special. RPAN is a special. Because OBS is open. OBS Studio or OBS Open Broadcaster Studio. What I'm using is
Yeah.
open source software,
Yeah.
so you can get the source code. And what Reddit have done is they modified the source code to give them the RPAN client to log into Reddit. So and they call it RPAN.
Yeah.
But it's all ending on November the 15th. All ending on November the 15th. That's because that's how they breathe, Pest Pal.
Yeah, but I don't
Yeah, I
think
know.
they breathe and think at the same time.
But we've only got 3 viewers on Reddit anyway, Best Pal. So they're not. It's not like we're missing. It's not like the heydays. I mean, Christ Almighty. What was it? 3 months ago, Mickey, I was pulling in 400,000 viewers, wasn't I?
Yeah. Yeah.
And now we're down to 3. So they've really killed it. I mean, I'm just streaming on Reddit because it's one click. It's one click on an icon. Yeah, 400,000 viewers. I did a stream from a pub. And that was my most popular stream. 424,000 viewers. We got that night.
The infamous phone box one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the infamous phone box one where I got accused of having a fake background,
Yeah.
and I had to go up and down to it. So yeah, 424,000 viewers. They were real people. Yeah, they were real people. We used to pull in, on average on Reddit, we used to pull in anywhere between 17 and 30,000 a night, didn't we, Mickey?
Yeah. Yeah.
But now
And
we're
now
down
we've
to
got
3.
3. Yeah.
And that's
And
that's how much.
none of them talk anymore.
No, that's how much RPAN have killed through. Christ, yeah, they were people, right? Out of those people, the questions were coming in at the rate of 1,000 an hour. You think about that a minute. The questions were coming in at the rate of 1,000 an hour on that stream. There's a replay of it. If you go into my Woody's place on Reddit, you'll find the replay of it. You can watch it yourself. You can see the figures happening in real time, 424,000, with 1,000 questions an hour coming in. I couldn't keep up with it. I really couldn't keep up with it. The screen was moving that fast, but now we've got 3. But
Yeah.
that's Reddit for you. That's what they don't want streaming on their platform anymore. They've made that completely clear. And all we're left with is the people that just sit there looking at Reddit screen going, what the fuck is going on here? I'm just actually making sure that I've got all my microphones on. Let me just check something. Yep, I've got all my mics on, so it's not that. Right, so yeah, so that was my first car, Mini. And that I bought that in 1976 or 1977. I can't remember. I bought it off of a friend and I paid about 20 quid for it. Because it had a fault. That's right, I remember now. He couldn't get it running because it had a fault in the fuel line, where it wasn't getting enough fuel in. What was happening is the float was filling up, because in them days they had carburetors with floats, and the float was filling up, but it wasn't. There was something wrong with the float, and it wasn't coming all the way up to the top, allowing enough petrol through. And I just pulled the carburetor apart, pulled the float chamber apart, and there was just a load of shit in the bottom of the float chamber. And I put it in the dishwasher, which the mother-in-law wasn't too happy about. And she goes, what's that in the dishwasher? I said, it's the bottom of my float chamber. Well, has that done anything to the dishes? I said, no, it's clean now. Look, got the float chamber all clean in the dishwasher, reassembled it all, and it worked perfectly after that. And he was a bit gutted because he said, I could have charged more for that then. And I said, well, it had a fault. You know, I'm not going to pay for a car. I'm not going to pay 50 or 60 quid for a car with a fault.
No.
He said, you should have fixed it. I fixed it. And then I went to a Cortina Mark 1 estate.
Oh, fucking hell.
Which I hated because on the Cortina Mark 1 estates, they had a handbrake problem that the handbrake cable would slowly stretch over time, and you suddenly find yourself on a hill and you put the handbrake on full and it wouldn't hold the car, which was bad news in a manual on a hill in a traffic jam.
Yep.
Because you had to have your foot on the clutch and the brake to keep where you were, and you had to be so quick taking your foot off the brake and hitting the accelerator that if you got it wrong, you'd either stall it or you'd roll backwards. Mm-hmm. And the number of times I stalled it in traffic, trying to do that quick manoeuvre. And of course, once you're stalled, you can't restart it because you can't put the handbrake on to hold it while you put your foot in, you put your foot on the brake, you put your foot on the clutch. But when you're turning the accelerator, in those days, you had to put your foot on the accelerator at the same time. So I got round it by actually left foot braking and right foot, by left foot brake, putting my left foot on the brake, having the car in neutral, and then accelerating and get it going. And then when I'd done that, having to swap over the feet, and praying I wouldn't stall it again. But that was my second car. Dark green that was, Ford Cortina Mark 1. And that's where I learned the trick with Cortinas. It had the overhead spray bar.
Yeah.
Drill out the holes. Drill out the holes in the oil spray bar. Do you remember that trick?
Yeah.
Just to make sure the overhead valves were well lubricated. And that sort of started my love affair with Cortinas. What was your second car?
You're not going to believe this.
Go on.
I had 2 minis and a minivan.
Okay.
Then I had a Mark II Cortina. After that, I had a Mark III Cortina. Then a Mark IV Cortina. And in between that, I had an old Zephyr 4. I don't know if you remember them.
I remember the Zephyr 4s.
Yeah, I had one of them for a little while. Fucking hell, that was like a tank. But I did love that car because it had the old bench seats across the front.
Yep.
I don't know if you remember the old
the gear shift, the column change, yeah.
Yeah.
Was that the one with just three gears and a
Three
reverse?
gears, yeah.
See, I do remember it. Remember it because if you didn't know where the gear position was, you could never drive the fuckers.
Yeah, that's exactly that. Yeah. But yeah, I love that car. To be fair, it's like a tank. And then, like I say, I had 2 or 3 Cortinas after that.
You could have a great fuck in that car.
Yeah, front or back seat, didn't
Yeah.
make any difference.
Or take some mates with you, they're both. Get into an orgy. Yeah. I used to, this is my first missus. I didn't have one, but I had the use of one for a little while. Exactly that. But that's why I know about the 3 gears. And I used to enjoy. This is in the days before seatbelts, Mickey. I used to enjoy slinging it round the corners because it was like a boat when it went round the corner. I'm making her slide all the way over to me. And then just when she went to kiss me, I'd turn the steering wheel the other way and she'd slide back again. And she'd sort of face plant the windscreen or the side window or something like that. So, but yeah, that started my love affair with Cortinas. I went to Cortina Mark II, then a 3, then a 4, then a 5. The best one, the one that I loved the most, was my Cortina Mark III.
Yeah, they were great little cars. I had a
I
two
really
litre mine
liked.
was.
Yeah, mine was the 1600, I think. But they actually changed the body shape for the Mark III, and I really liked that body shape. It was very square and very boxy, but it looked really nice, didn't it? And then the 4 and the 5, they were just variations of the same thing, weren't they?
They were just square. They were.
After the 5, I went big and went to the Granadas.
I had a 2.8 Scorpio Estate Granada.
I
That
had a
was fucking
2.8
lovely.
gear injection.
Yeah, that was I love that.
I didn't. 22 miles to the gallon. Fucking
Yeah, I
hell.
loved it.
They were getting
The seats were
expensive.
like fucking armchairs.
Oh, didn't it
Um,
go when you put the foot down?
oh yeah.
And then for some reason, I seem to have gone to British Leylands. I went to the Montegos. I had 3 Montegos, one after the other. And I'll never forget them because I was forever replacing the front fucking wheel bearings.
In streaming crew, I'll put a picture of my current car. You can put it on screen if you want,
Okay.
but it's entirely up to you. But yeah, my current car.
Is that wrapped?
No, it's not wrapped.
Like, how old are you, Mickey?
What?
How old are you?
66.
That's like a fucking 17-year-old's car.
No, it's not.
It is. It's a
That's
Merc, isn't it?
It's a Merc C220.
Yeah, exactly. A 17-year-old's
That's
car.
an old man's fucking car. Hey. I love that old car. I even had to buy some new wheels for it because when it came, that had fucking great big 19-inch wheels on. Every time I turn a wheel, they'd scrape on the wheel arches. I've still got them in the shed actually, so I had to go out and shell out for some new fucking wheels.
It's a boy racer's car.
It's not a boy racer's car. It's a fucking Mercedes. Nobody goes racing around in a Mercedes. If it was a
Now
BMW,
you've just made it look like a boy racer's car. What is wrong with you?
what, by putting black wheels on it?
Yeah, and having a stupid paint job.
It's not a stupid paint. It's silver. It's standard silver. That's a fucking
It looks
Mercedes.
green.
It's fucking silver.
It looks green.
Oh dear. There's something wrong with your fucking noise. Oh, it's froze up. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
I'm just putting your boy racer car on screen.
Well, that's
There
a
you go. Look,
Volkswagen.
there you go. Look, there's Mickey's car. Look. How embarrassing.
Yeah, that's my
There you
present
go.
car.
They all see your car.
What's wrong with that?
It's green. It's got black
It's
wheels.
not green. It's fucking grey. It's grey, silver grey.
What colour is it in that picture?
It's silver grey. It's your fucking.
It's green. It's green.
It's a reflection of the grass. In my.
Oh, that's it. You'll make it. See, look. See, it's something that Turbo Best Pal drives, right? See, that's what I'm talking about, Mickey.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that at all if you're 17.
Oh, fuck off.
Nothing wrong with that at all if you're 17.
This ain't got anything you have to buy fucking ever-ready batteries every other week for.
I don't have to buy ever-ready batteries for mine.
For your fucking battery-driven fucking car.
And
Well,
you'd love my MPG. You'd love to get 80 miles to the gallon out of yours.
I'll get 45 out of that.
Exactly. I get double what you do.
Diesel, I'm quite happy with that. On a run, it's
I'm,
fucking shit round town, but on a run, fucking lovely.
I'm petrol and I get double the MPG you
And it's
do.
automatic, and it's got,
So's mine.
it's got everything I want.
So's mine.
So only thing is the aircon don't work.
Oh, there you go then.
That's because
That's
it's cold in the
that's
fucking radiator.
Hey, you've got big hole in the radiator.
Oh, well, I think so, yeah. But
They're low down on those ones, aren't they?
yeah, it's a common fault on them. My other one, I'll find a picture of that because I had a Merc before this one. If I can find a picture of it.
Because on modern cars, they actually put the radiators one behind the other.
One, yeah, that's below it, I think. Where are we? Where are we?
I'm only pulling your piss about your car, by the way.
No, I understand that.
I had a Mitsubishi Space Wagon, I had a Ford Orion, and I had a Ford Clitoris. I definitely had a Ford Clitoris. A Ford Sierra. And the Ford Orion was the upmarket version of the Sierra. Do you remember them?
Yeah.
Worst car brand. Worst car brand. What was the Montego? What was the Montego? Was it British Leyland?
Yeah.
British Leyland.
Yeah.
British
That was
Leyland.
shit.
And the Montegos were actually nice when they worked, but like I said, the Montego, I had one estate and I had two saloons.
They were
and
supposed to be their version of the fucking Cortina, but
yeah, they were great, except that they went through front wheel bearings. They were fucking horrible. I've never had a French car. I wouldn't buy a French car if it was the last car on the planet. I would never buy a French car. If I bought a French car, every time I went to Germany, I'd surrender. That doesn't look like a car, Mickey.
no, I'm just finding the other one. There it is.
Ah, a cabriolet.
Yeah.
I suppose you want to put that up as a picture, do you?
Well, you can do if you want. And me bike.
Ain't your bike? What bike is that?
That's my XJ 750. That's the one that got a hole in the tank.
So only a small one then.
Yeah. I'm
You
only a
got that
small
anymore?
person. Huh?
Are you same like me? You got that anymore?
No. The tank rotted out. It was an import. It was a Japanese import, and I couldn't get another tank for it. So I put it on eBay. Some bloke from Norwich bought it. He wanted the engine. As I went to put it on the trailer, the little glass on the front brake reservoir popped out, and the fucking fluid just fucking dropped everywhere. So, but he wanted the engine to put in a trike. So
Okay. I've just realised all the people on Reddit can't see the image of your motorbike, all five of them.
Unlucky.
Okay. Yeah, well, you're losing Reddit in 11 days, so it don't really matter. If you want to come and see what we're talking about, you'll have to come and join us on Twitch, which is there.
I had an MG Metro as well, little 1300. That was a bit of shit as well. Fucking thing. That rotted. That literally rotted. But yeah, that's my old bike. In fact, I think that's the last one. No, it isn't. I had a 125 after that. Just for nipping backwards and forwards to work on. But yeah.
You've seen my last bike, haven't you?
Yeah, I did. I got a picture of it.
Uh,
Hello, Armageddon's engineer. I didn't see you there. He's got hijacked by ads, Mr. Armageddon.
yeah. Oh.
But that was a shaft drive, that was, Steve.
Yes, I remember them well. I remember them well. You remember Honda messed about with something called a Honda Matic, which was an
Yes.
automatic bike.
They had that was a 400cc.
That's right, with 2 gears.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a raving success, wasn't
I
it?
worked in a bike shop for 12 years, so
Yeah.
we got all sorts of fucking things coming. They were fucking horrible. Always just fuck up.
Yep.
And that's my little Mercedes. I love that car, but the electric started to play up. That's the only reason I got shot of that. I got shot of that and bought a Seat Ibiza, believe it or not, a brand new one. But yeah.
Seat Ibizas are very popular amongst the taxi community in places like Birmingham and Manchester.
Yeah, yeah. Well, a lot of them use the Toledo round here, which I
Toledo,
had.
yeah, and Toledo as well.
I had one of them as well.
I've never had to see it. I've the
it's
first
a Volkswagen,
career,
mate. The floor pan to an Ibiza is the same as an Audi A1 and a Volkswagen fucking Polo. Exactly the same floor pan.
I never had a Seat. I never had a Seat. The nearest I came to a Seat was my first Hyundai. I had a Hyundai Lantra, which was a lovely little car. I quite like that.
I had a Hyundai Stella.
I remember the Stellas. Yeah, I remember the Stellas.
And all their suspension, was Mark III Cortina.
It probably was. It used to be called Proton, didn't they, many years ago?
And the engine was a Mitsubishi engine. Believe it or not. And I got rid of that because along the top of the windscreen just rotted away, and no matter how much you tried to fill it, fucking stick bloody mastic or whatever in it, that just kept leaking. Every time it rained, well, in the end, that blew up the fucking instrument cluster.
my Lantra, I got rid of it because 2 weeks out of the guarantee, the gearbox went.
Ooh.
And it was 800 quid, so I just dumped it, let the council take it away. And then I went to a Mitsubishi Space Wagon, which I loved. That was a 7-seater. From the Mitsubishi Space Wagon, I went to a Toyota Previa, the old round jelly mold shaped Previa. Yeah. Then I went to a Ford Orion. Then I went to the only French car I'd ever owned, and I owned it for a total of 4 weeks before I thought, that is a load of shit. A Citroen Picasso C4. What a load of shit. Now I understand. Citroen, it's the French word for lemon, isn't it?
Yeah.
What a load of shit, that C4. Oh.
And that was shit. She didn't have that long, I think 6 months.
4 weeks I had it. I couldn't stand it any longer. 400 quid I paid for it. And at the end of 4 weeks, I fucking knocked it out and I bought myself a Toyota Avensis.
They weren't a bad motor, actually.
The Toyota Avensis was a lovely car. It was the first proper luxury car I'd had since the Granada 2.8 gear. It was a proper luxury car. It had all the bits on it. It had a tilt and slide sunroof, all climate control, dimming rear view mirrors. All the bits you really want on it. And that was great until the gearbox went. The gearbox, it kept jumping out of third gear. So in the end, I got rid of that. What did I replace that with? I replaced that with a Ford. It was an automatic. It was a Ford. Fuck. I think it might have been a Scorpio. It was a Ford Estate. It was one of the Ford Estates. lucky if I can remember what it was. But and that was the one with the air. That's the one where I found out about the radiator being on the air. Because when I got it, I was driving down to Southampton one day. It's just in 2014. Driving down to Southampton one day. It was quite a hot day, and I thought I'll put the air conditioning on. I put the air conditioning on. I thought, well, this isn't really working, is it? And I called out one of these mobile guys to come to the house and regas it. You know, we'll regas your air conditioning for 30 quid while you wait. And he said, I would recondition. He said, I would regas your car, but come and have a look at this. And he opened up the bonnet and he got his fluorescent light out and he showed me where it had all popped out the bottom. He said, you've got a hole in the bottom of the radiator. He said, it's well known on these ones. He said, the radiator's on the bottom, you've had a stone go through it. So he said, I can fix it, it's 300 quid. So I paid it and got it fixed. And it did all right for a couple of years. 2012, 2013. Then in 2014, I bought my first new car. I bought a brand new Vauxhall Astra Estate. And I kept that for 5 years. And then I bought my second brand new car, which is the Hyundai Ioniq that I've got. And I took the number plate, because the number plate on the Astra was a personalised plate. I took that off and it's now on the Hyundai. That's my brief history of cars. I think I've covered them all. I think I had a Ford Fiesta at one time, if I remember correctly. I think I had a Ford Fiesta. I'm sure I did. But there we go. That's my history of cars. The Honda 650s from the 80s weren't bad. Pretty basic with fun bikes. I've never really experienced a Honda. I think one of my motorbikes for a little while was a Honda 125. But I actually fell in love with Suzuki's. After I passed my motorcycle test, I fell in love with Suzuki's, and every bike I'd had since I'd passed. Oh, I just had a beeping in my headset.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like someone was trying to call me on the phone, but it can't be. I haven't got my hearing aid in, so I bet my hearing aid goes flat or something like that. We'll find out in a minute. I fell in love with Suzuki's because my first bike after passing my motorcycle test was a Suzuki GT380, which we've discussed, haven't we, Mickey?
Yeah.
And then I went to a Suzuki GT500 and then a Suzuki GT750. After that, I had just big bikes. I think after the GT750, I had a Suzuki. It was the 1300 Suzuki, but it wasn't the sport one. It was the GSX. I had
Not
one of those.
Hayabusa, no.
No, not the Hayabusa. That was a GSX B43, VBK. B463 VBK was the reg number. That was the 1300. That was a lovely bike. That got stolen. With the insurance money for that, I went down to a GSX, the fairing race version of the 750.
Yeah.
But I found it, to be honest with you, I found the 750 to be a bit underpowered. After having the grunt of the 1300, I found the 750 to be a bit underpowered. And after about a year, I part exchanged that. That's right. I rode around it on a year because I'd lost my no claims bonus because of the insurance bike being nicked and getting on insurance. I'd lost some of my no claims bonus. So I rode around it on a year to get my no claims back. And I part exchanged that for a Katana, 1300 Katana, which was it 1100 Katana? No, it was 1100 Katana, which is a lovely bike. I could see where Suzuki were going because the bike looked nice. Didn't perform that well, but it really looked nice. And I had that for a couple of years. And then when I got my insurance down to a reasonable level, I part exchanged that and bought a brand new Busa, which, believe me, was like the ultimate bike. If you've never had a Busa, if you've never ridden a Busa, you've never been a motorbiker. Those Hayabusas were incredible machines, absolutely fucking incredible machines. 4-cylinder, fuel-injected beasts. They were, and I think they still are, aren't they, Mickey?
Yeah.
They still are.
They don't make them anymore, though.
They don't make them anymore, but I think they are the world's fastest production bike, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Phenomenal machines. Phenomenal machines. I had mine up to 135 before I lost my bottle. I lost my bottle 135, Mickey. I'll tell you what, I lost my bottle. And I couldn't go any faster. The bike had plenty in it. I mean, I was only doing about 6,000 RPM at 135. So the bike had plenty of go in it. It would have. You can understand why they'll do 180, 200 miles an hour. Yeah, plenty of go in it, but I lost my bottle 135 because the trouble with the fairing is the fairing would deflect the wind, except for on your head. So it would deflect the wind on your chest, but your head. So you'd be on the bike, your head would be going like that, and if you get the air would come in under your helmet, and you'd be riding along, and you'd be struggling like that with your helmet, trying to keep your head down, and the wind was pulling your head back. But like I say, at 135, I lost my bottle and I wound it down. And I would like to have gone faster, but and I did toy with going to the Nuremberg ring and doing it. I did toy with going out to the Nuremberg ring and seeing what this bike really could do. But I had that for 2 years, and that got stolen. Again, I got a bike stolen. I couldn't believe it. I had every fucking device on there known to man. Alarms. It had a tracker alarm on it and everything. And it fucking got stolen. Not tracker alarm. It had microdots. Do you remember the microdots?
Yeah, put me in a tank.
Yeah, and in your frame and everywhere. It never got recovered. It got stolen. I fucking cut the chain. I had a fucking great big Oxford beast chain on it. And it was chained to my outside, because we didn't have a garage in it. It was chained to my outside wall. So, of course, they didn't bother to cut the fucking chain. They just knocked a brick out of the wall. I alternate, I thought it was safe. But they nicked that, and with the insurance money for that, I bought a Bandit 600. And I had that for a year. This was 2006. I had that for a year, and it was all right, but it was a bit underpowered for a 600. I mean, the 600, basically, the 600 is the born-again bikers class, isn't it? Where you're 45 years old and you pass your bike test for the first time, so you go out and get a Sport 600. You know the type of bike I mean, don't you?
Yeah.
And in that class, because Kawasaki and Yamaha ruled that 600cc, didn't they?
With the ZXRs and that, yeah.
Yeah, they ruled 600cc, and they were nice and different. So I found the Bandit to be a bit underpowered compared to those. So after a year, I part exchanged that and bought myself a brand new Bandit 1200. And that was in 2000. That was the end of 2006, and I had that right up until 2014 is when I gave up biking. So I had that 8 years. That lasted me 8 years. That was a lovely bike. I liked that. It wasn't the fastest bike in the world. It wasn't like a Busa or a Katana, but it would go from, you could put it in 6th gear at 30, and it would pull all the way to 120 in 1 gear. And it would take on a Porsche, and it would beat a Porsche. It would take on it probably wouldn't beat a McLaren, but it would take on most of these so-called sports cars and leave them in their wakes, because quite often you used to get people in their fucking Porsche 926s trying to burn me up. They pull away from traffic lights like men possessed. I just whiz past them, and they'd be screaming the bollocks out of their car, holding it in, because if it was an automatic, they'd be holding it in second. Or if it was a manual, they'd be holding it in third to try and get those extra legs out of it. And I'd just be poodling a pass just on sheer grunt from top gear at 30, put it in top gear at 30 miles an hour, and just the sheer grunt would take you away. And if you did want acceleration, if you're doing 50 and you wanted a bit of acceleration, just kick it down 2 gears. The one thing I do remember about it, when I got it out for the showroom, I got it home and I disconnected what was called the wheelie wire.
Yeah.
Do you remember the wheelie wire?
Mm-hmm.
That was the very first thing I did, because what it did is Bandit 1200s had this tendency to wheelie in 2nd gear if you change gear rapidly. So Suzuki made an adjustment that actually cut the revs back as you went into 2nd gear. And if you cut the wheelie wire, it wouldn't do that. So I cut the wheelie wire. Right, that's my history of vehicles. And I've got this vehicle, of course.
Yes, got that one. Little Humber. Chug, chug, chug.
Mickey bought this for me.
Yeah, I didn't make it for him. He had to make it himself.
I had to make it. They bought the kit for me. I had to make
Yeah.
it myself. But look, I've done a good job on it. Look, here you go, mate. Look, I've even given the man. I've even painted his little face and his little binoculars. Look, and the look, I've made it true. Look, the turret even moves. Look, see? I did it all properly.
Good, good, good.
There we go.
You need a scorpion next.
No, I don't need a Scorpion at all because I don't like tanks because of the fucking. They're a pain in the arse with all the fiddly wheels. I mean, tanks have got either 8 or 10 fucking wheels each side, and it's so repetitive when they're that small making them. It's so fucking repetitive. I'm actually building a Suzuki Virago.
Uh-huh.
If you looked at my site, you'd see what I was doing. You'd see what I was building. I'm building a Suzuki Virago at the moment.
No, you ain't.
No, I ain't. I'm talking to you.
No.
Yamaha Virago.
Yamaha Virago. Yeah, that's what I said. No, you
And
ain't.
the paint scheme calls for the tank on it and the side panels to be maroon. However, I think maroon's a bit boring, so
Well,
I'm going to paint it. I'm going to paint it ruby metallic.
Yeah. Candy ruby red.
I've never sprayed with. Sorry.
Candy ruby red.
No, well, ruby red, not candy ruby red.
Yeah.
Ruby metallic. It's darker. It's like you could call it a metallic maroon.
Yeah.
I've never sprayed a metallic paint before, so I'm going to have fun with that. That's going to be fun. So I'm going to have a good practice in the spray booth first. Just spray all sorts. I'm going to spray all sorts of manner of things. No one will come in one day and say, "What the fuck? Have you been spraying my head cups?" So come on, Mickey. That's my history. Let's have yours.
Well, like I said, I started
Seeing
off
as nobody's wanting to chat.
Yeah, like I say, I started off with 3 minis. Went on to a Cortina Mark II. I think then I had the Zephyr. And I had 2 Mark IIIs, a 1600 and a 2 litre. Mark III Cortinas. I didn't have a Mark IV. I did have a Mark V, which is basically a Mark IV with
bits on it, yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Well, the Mark IV was great. There really wasn't a lot of difference between the 3, 4, and 5.
No.
Just styling.
They squared
it
off after the 3 into the 4. And the 4 and the 5 look like. Well, the 5 looked like a small Granada.
Yeah.
Poor man's Granada. That's what it was.
They got boring, didn't they?
Yeah. What did I have after that? I had my 2 litre Capri V4.
You had a Capri?
Yeah.
I didn't like the Capris. I couldn't drive them. Too fucking bonnet. Too much bonnet.
Well, that's how I met my missus, because I had the Capri.
All right.
She didn't like me. She liked the car.
Okay.
That's serious.
Nothing much has changed then.
No. She'll honestly tell you that. She only went out with me because I had a Capri.
She thought you had a big cock, didn't she?
Well, no, because she knows that big cars means little cock.
Oh, right, okay.
Well, isn't that the saying?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
But yeah,
I've never had a big car.
But
yes, I have.
Yeah, so I had that for a while. In fact, I had that probably for 3 or 4 years. I only paid 80 quid in an auction for it.
Yeah.
I was actually bidding, believe it or not, I was actually bidding on an MGB GT. And I can't remember his fucking name now. But anyway, this comedian was doing a show at fucking the pier in Yarmouth, and he outbid me on this fucking. I couldn't go up as high as he was going on this MGBT. And the last car they bought in was this Capri. They had a broken shock absorber on the back, and I give 80 quid for it. They're now worth about 30 grand.
Yeah. Escort Mexico's, Jesus.
That is the only reason that my wife went out with me, because I had that. So Got rid of that. What did I have then? I went to work in the bike shop then, so I was on bikes for about 4 or 5 years until my daughter got a little. Well, my daughter was born a year after we got together. But Donna told me you got to give up your bikes and get a car because we've got a child now, which is understandable. For a while, I had both, but
Yeah, sidecar.
I had a yeah. That's what I said, and she said no. She didn't want to be like on the buses when Olive and whoever it was one
Yeah.
sidecar went one way and the bike went the other.
Arthur.
Yeah, that's it. She went galloping down. She didn't want to be like that. So, so I think I had a Peugeot 504.
Oh, letting the slide down there.
Yeah, that was that was shit. Absolutely shit. That was automatic. That would change up the gearbox, lovely, but every time you slowed down to a stop, that wouldn't change down till you stopped, and then it would slam itself into the fucking first with an almighty bang. Never did find out what was the matter with it.
No, that's Peugeots. They all do that. That's a
Yeah.
design feature.
I got rid of that. I fucking hated that car. What did I have after that? An Opel Record. Believe it or not, an Opel Record.
Which was the Cadet in this country, wasn't it?
It's a bigger one. Bigger one than the Cadet. Cadet was
No, the Opel Record was the what's
Vauxhall
the next
Viva.
one up from the? Yeah, Vauxhall Viva. Yeah.
This was a bigger one. I forget what it was in this country, but anyway, it's still a right-hand drive. But that was quite a nice car. Had that for a while. What did I get after that?
All General Motors. So
Yeah. Oh, I've been through my Cortinas, been through that. What did I have when I moved here? Fucking hell. I had a Fiat 500 for about 3 months. And I don't mean the new Fiat 500, I mean the old one, the little tiny one. That had a floor starter as well. And a floor, they're a little 600cc, they're 500cc. Floor choke as well, the engine was in the back of them. She didn't like that because, again, she thought she'd go one way, I'd go the other, so I had to get rid of that. Then I had an Escort Mark III, I think. Yeah. And I was still working at the bike shop at the time. And I had to go in to have the brakes done. Took it to the garage to have the brakes done. So my boss lent me a plastic pig, Reliant Robin.
Oh, Ryan Robin, yeah.
Took that home, told the wife I'd swap the Escort for this, and well, fucking hell. She hit the roof. I'm not getting in that, blah, blah, blah. Oh, that was funny as fuck. Yeah, so after, what did I have after the Escort? I had a Mark IV Escort after that. Yeah. Then I had a Mondeo, which was like the Workman, like an updated fucking Cortina, really, wasn't it? Fucking Mondeo, piece of shit. I hated that. Then I got rid of that and got my Scorpio Estate. I had a 2.8 Scorpio Estate. Sold that and bought another. What did I buy then? I bought another Mondeo after that. I blew that up coming back from Norwich. It froze up. It was fucking freezing. And the car blew up. I got the kids in the car and the wife. So I got my daughter's then boyfriend came, picked the kids up, left me with the car. I was absolutely freezing. Fucking RAC come along. He drove past me 3 times, rang me up and said, I can't find you. I said, I'll be the bloke standing on the side of the road that's fucking waved at you 3 times, won't I? Oh. So anyway, got rid of that. What did I got rid of that, and I bought my I think I bought the Merc then. Yeah, Merc convertible. I had the convertible Merc then. No, I didn't. I bought a Suzuki Vitara. I've got a picture of that as well.
Oh, the Jeep thing.
Yeah, Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a little 1600. Fucking
Yeah,
slow as
I
fuck.
know the one. Yeah.
Slow as fuck it was, but that was great. Great in the winter, going down the outside lane of the dual carriageway when everybody's stuck on the inside. That was great. Then, yeah, I got rid of that. Oh well, actually, I sold it to my daughter, um, and bought the convertible. Had that for 3 or 4 years. Sold that, bought a Seat, brand new Seat Ibiza, because they had them on offer. I was only, what did I pay? 120 quid a month for that. Sold that, bought a Toledo. Another Seat Toledo. Well, part exchange it for the Toledo.
Mm-hmm.
And then I swapped that out for the one I've got now, my C220. So there you go. There we are. And that is my cars for the past, since 1976.
Like
Oh,
me,
I
you've
forgot
been
the
through the range of
Toyota.
cars.
I forgot my Toyota. I had a Toyota Corolla Coupe,
Okay.
1973 Coupe. They were a little 1200. Weren't nothing. They weren't very fast, but they called them a Coupe. But yeah,
I think the only real difference is I never went through I never owned an Escort, which I know the Escort RS Mexicos are worth a fortune now.
yeah. I had a Mark II
But
and a Mark III.
I never owned an Escort.
The Mark II I bought, somebody had ripped the seats out and put them. I don't know if you remember them, Recaro fucking racing seats,
Yeah. Bucket seats. Yeah, I remember
and they
them.
were literally bolted to the floor. I took it for MOT, and he showed me underneath, and the bolts had ripped the fucking floor out. So I got I scrapped it, to be fair. Because yeah, they literally took the seats out, seat rails, and bolted the seat straight to the fucking floor, and it just ripped out. There, but yeah,
Well, I'm on the Ionic now, the Hyundai Ionic, and that'll be the last car I ever own. Because by the time this one has by the time this one has stopped working, I'll be in my 70s, Mickey.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you know,
I've got
I
a
don't
nip
want
for
to.
a quick piss, Steve. Really?
Okay, there's probably more information I need to know.
I'll
It's more
just be
information I
back in a
need to
minute.
know, but I don't know what's happened. We've only got three. I've only got three watchers on, three viewers on Twitch, and two watchers on Reddit. Reddit we know about. Reddit is coming to an end, so that's why nobody's on Reddit watching anything. But I'm a bit. Oh no, we've got four viewers on Twitch now. I'm a bit surprised we've not had more interaction from you guys on Twitch. That's a bit surprising. Normally you're as chatty as hell, but you're not tonight. So I'm not quite sure what's up there. So feel free to join in. Just because we're talking about big boys' toys doesn't mean that we are excluding all the genders. All genders are welcome, unless you identify as a potato. If you identify as a potato, I might want to boil you. But other than that, you can identify as any gender you want, or you can be gender fluid. You can even identify as an apple or an orange or a banana. But all genders are welcome. You're not actually talking tonight, which is unusual. Here in the UK, it's oh, okay. That's it. Here in the UK, it's early fireworks night. Um, it's Guy Fawkes night tomorrow, November the 5th, when we celebrate how James the First. Is it James the First? James the First was
I think it was.
nearly blown up by Guy Fawkes, but they caught him. So we celebrate this by simulating the blowing up of Parliament with fireworks, and we burn an effigy of Guy Fawkes on a bonfire. Although just recently that has been taken to burning effigies of politicians, hasn't it, Mickey?
Yeah, it has just recently. Yeah.
But people have taken to celebrate it this November the 5th, right? This is only one day, all right? It's unique to this country, all right? Nobody else celebrates Guy Fawkes except us, and it's November the 5th. But it seems that every year it's becoming longer. I
Yeah.
had fireworks yesterday. We've got fireworks tonight. There'll be massive fireworks tomorrow. Then there'll be fireworks Sunday. Then there'll be fireworks Monday. So they're sort of spreading the whole thing out over 3 or 4 days. Now, I don't know how you feel, Mickey, but I personally, we celebrate the fact that they got caught, Matchett. Although we celebrate it in a bit of a weird, fucked up way. We celebrate the fact that they got caught and didn't blow up Parliament, and the fireworks actually represent what would have happened if we had blown up Parliament. It's fucked up and it's British. It's only how British can celebrate something. We celebrate the fact that he got caught with fireworks stimulating blowing up a Parliament. Well, not just him. It was a whole plot. It wasn't just him. He was the leader. It was the whole Catholic plot, which is a big thing in those days. But I don't know how you guys feel about it. But me personally, right, I would be quite happy if all sales of fireworks were banned, except for organised displays.
Yeah.
I would be quite happy if that would have happened.
And I'd also go as far as to say, Steve, 5th of November, New Year's Eve, and there are some other religions that use them. I think it's Diwali and some others that they use them to celebrate. But again, I don't think they should be on sale to the public.
No.
I think they should be organised displays by accredited professionals.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're playing with an explosive.
You're playing with a weapon.
Exactly that. We had an incident a couple of years ago that 14, 15-year-old kids were firing rockets into the local Spar shop down the road. I enjoy firework match, but
I enjoy organised displays because they actually spend a bit of money on them. Not 30 quid on a box.
I mean,
a box of cheap shit fireworks.
We're going to one on Sunday night at my granddaughter's school. They have every year. I'm only going for the hog roast, to be fair, because they do a lovely hog roast up there. But that's organised display. It's roped off. There's professional people actually setting off the fireworks. It's not a fucking school teacher. These are professional people that they bring in. And normally it's quite a good show. So, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't got any of all my children grown up and left home, and now they are actually taking their own children, my grandchildren, to fireworks displays. But it's a bit annoying. It's a bit annoying that Blackheath, and I'm just trying to Google it now. Blackheath fireworks, I was told, have been cancelled. Right. I wonder why. Blackheath fireworks is probably the largest display in the country. And Blackheath fireworks 2022. Unfortunately, as a result of funding cuts from central government, the Blackheath fireworks display will not be taking place in 2022. That's unusual. That is unusual.
There's I've seen on your favourite place several people have said that their local councils have cancelled it due to funding cuts. I mean, obviously they don't fund bonfires and fireworks, etc., but it comes out of council funds. But they can't afford to have these because of the cost of living crisis. So, yeah. Match's birthday's on the 7th, so they always had the fireworks for his birthday when he was younger. Don't tell me they tried to stick you on top of the fire as well, mate. Hence the name Match.
Yeah, I was just reading about it. Central government have got a lot of somebody's got to pay for Boris's parties, isn't he?
Yeah. Got to pay for his wine.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of local authorities have cut them. I think Norwich has started to cut theirs, and like I say, we're going to my granddaughter's school is having one. But I mean, we pay. I think it's about £5 or something, £5 each, which covers the costs. Plus, they get a cut of the food revenue. So yeah. Native American name meaning man of an evil heart. Oh, right. Right. Ah.
Oh, now we know.
Now we know where it comes from.
Now we know. Now we know.
Mm. Are you really evil? Have they got a Native American name for Newcastle Bridge Builder? I mean, because could change it to that, couldn't he? Really?
I thought it was YI man.
Boy, oh, that's it. Yeah, YI man means Newcastle Bridge Builder. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, Steve, totally changing the subject for a minute.
Okay, we'll change subject for a minute.
I hear you had a bit of excitement at the hospital today.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Um, Today I was on cycle 3 of my chemotherapy. I've got 6 cycles of chemotherapy, so I'm halfway through my course. It's a 21-day cycle, so I'm halfway through my course. Today was cycle 3. Now, obviously, you can see me sitting here. If you've ever been on my YouTube, you'll know that I need a wheelchair. I'm going to need a wheelchair for the rest of my life. But I do have some mobility. Now, from where I was in the treatment suite to the toilet is only about 8 metres, and I don't need my wheelchair. I can walk 8 metres. Just, I can only walk about 15 metres in total, but I can manage to get from where I'm being treated to the wheelchair, especially as I've got a bit of a crutch because I've got to unplug the infusion bump and take that with me, and it's great to be able to lean on it when I walk. Do you know what I mean, Mickey?
Yeah, yeah.
I can lean on that. So I went to the toilet. They've got a special toilet for the chemotherapy patients, but they don't allow ordinary people to use. So I went there, and as I pulled up, I noticed that the little red indicator, you know, you've got little red and green indicators on the door.
Yeah.
The little red indicator was red. Now, I tried the door anyway because sometimes that toilet isn't broken when it says it's broken. Sometimes that thing slips. I tried the door just once, realised it was locked, and I sat down opposite and waited. Quite happy. After about 5 minutes, the door opened up and this bloke came out in a wheelchair. And he started bitching and moaning at everybody how we don't understand his issue being a wheelchair user. How it's so difficult using a wheelchair. Why don't you people understand about people in wheelchairs? Why are you always rattling the door? He looked at me and said, did you try the door? And I said, yeah, I tried it once. And I said, but I'm not the only one that's waiting for a toilet. And he said to me, he said, but you don't understand wheelchair users' issues, do you? And I said, well, how the hell can I tell you're in a wheelchair from this side of the door? He didn't say anything about that. He said, yeah, but you're all the same, aren't you? All you people, right? You want to spend a week in a wheelchair. And I thought nothing of it. Right? I thought nothing of it. Right? Well, go to toilet. I need to go to toilet because one of the chemicals they give you is doxyrubin, which is a funny drug. It makes you piss red. It's also the stuff that makes you lose your hair. But it actually makes you piss red, and it makes you want to go to toilet quite urgently. So, in the end, only Geordies would piss blue. Only Geordies could possibly piss blue, Mickey.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, only Geordies could possibly piss blue. So I went and had the piss, and it was bright red and quite amused me. I actually considered taking my phone with me into the toilet to catch a picture of the stream, and I thought, no, that's a bit much. You know, that's too much information. You don't want to see my bright red piss.
Not really.
So I didn't take my phone with me, and I wish I had done. Not to capture my piss, because when I came out of the toilet, this guy was there waiting for me, and he ambushed me as I come out of the toilet to tell me about how I didn't understand how it was difficult for people in a wheelchair, and he was having a go at everybody, right, who was sitting outside. And he followed me into the treatment suite, and as we got to my room, he was still ranting about it, and I looked at him, and I said, that's my wheelchair there. He shut straight up. He looked at me, and I looked at him, and I said, that's my wheelchair there, so please don't tell me about the difficulties of being a wheelchair user. I'm going to be in a wheelchair the rest of my life, and you're just a judgmental wanker. And with that, the look on his face, right? If the ground could have opened up and swallowed him, it would have done. But he just went back to his seat. About 5 minutes later, the head nurse and one of the other nurses came in and high-fived me, laughing their heads off. They said he's been on it all day about that, and he said you're the only one that's actually made him shut up.
Uh,
Yeah. But he was a judgmental prick. He assumed
yeah,
because I didn't have my wheelchair there and then going to the toilet. And I think he made another remark after that. I think he said something about, well, at least your legs work. And I said, yes, my legs do work, but my lungs don't. And I said, I guarantee you would swap your legs for my lungs any day of the week. I would
yeah,
swap my lungs for your legs
yeah,
any day of the week. And I would. If it meant giving up my legs to have a decent set of lungs, I would do it, Mickey.
yeah, yeah. I
Because
understand
people
that.
have no idea. You know what it's like because you've got COPD. So you
Yeah,
get a little taste of what it's like for me. But to be constantly out of breath is an absolute nightmare. It's not that the piss was blue, just as ours was the purest piss around. You've been drinking Northern beer.
fucking Newcastle Brown, mate.
They've been drinking Newcastle Brown, right? That stuff is like gnat's piss. That stuff is weaker than Foster's. That's why their piss is pure. Because they've been drinking Newcastle Brown.
It's like
Yeah, I mean,
drinking
that's
spring
it. That's
water.
it. Yeah, that's it. That's why their piss is pure.
Yeah.
I mean, right, Newcastle Brown was the world's first alcohol-free beer. It's never meant to be, but it is.
Oh, dear.
I remember going up to Newcastle one year and my mate said, have you ever had Newcastle Ale? Or Newcastle? I said, no. He said, why don't you try a pint? I did. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. No, it is. And he said, well, I think I had about 5 pints and he was under the table. And I was still standing. I thought, fucking hell, this man has no idea what beer is all about. If he honestly thinks that this brown ale is like it is, it's weaker than Foster's. That's why your piss is so pure, isn't it, Mickey? Have you tried it?
What, Nuki?
Yeah.
I used to like like a bottle of Nuki. To be fair, that's what we call it, Newcastle Brown Ale Nuki.
I call it alcohol free.
But yeah, I used to quite like that. It's got quite a nutty taste to it.
Yeah, you can drink pints of it and not get wrecked. Nobody has ever been convicted of drink driving on Newcastle Brown. Ever.
Oh dear. I thought that was American beer you couldn't get pissed on.
Oh, that as well. Same difference, isn't it?
Miller Lite. Fucking
Yeah.
light. Fucking light. Is that light? There's no alcohol in that, is there? Ah, dear. Yeah.
There we go. Now we know why their piss was pure. That reminds me. It amazed me today, right, Mickey? Oh look, my green screen's fucking up. Oh well. That amazed me, Mickey, that this doxyrubin, I think it's called doxyrubin, that they infused in me. I've got a picture actually. Do you want to see a picture? I have a picture.
Uh-huh.
I do. I really do. Hang on. Here we go. I have a picture.
Ooh.
Of this doxyrubin crap. Hang on.
So did you take your tablet with you today?
Yes, I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I always do. Otherwise, I'd get a bit bored, mate.
Yeah, yeah. Well, no, I see that you watched a couple of films and that.
Yep, I watched Revenge of the Sith, and Solo, the making of the hero. I'm going through Star Wars at the moment, and that was that.
So
Right,
what's
yeah.
Revenge
Anyway,
of the Sith about? Fucking clap or something?
yeah. It's the Sith Lord Sidious is killing all the Jedi, and it's down to Obi-Wan Kenobi to stop him, which he does in the end. And it's the making of how Darth Vader became to be Darth Vader. basically, or how Anakin Skywalker became Darth Vader. Um,
Ah, I've never really been into them films. I think I watched the first one, and that's the only one I've ever seen.
I've never really been into them, but I started watching. I started watching. What did I start watching? I started watching Mandalorian, which I thought was actually excellent.
Oh, the series on
Yeah,
is on
and then
Netflix.
after watching on Disney Plus, after
Yeah.
watching Mandalorian, I watched the Book of Boba Fett, which
Oh
again I
right. Yeah.
thought was excellent. And then after that, I watched the series Obi-Wan Kenobi, and again I thought that was excellent. Now all of these series, they all constantly reference the Star Wars films.
Yeah.
Prior to seeing these films, the only Star Wars film I'd ever seen was the original Star Wars that was done in the 70s. I think
Yeah, that's the only one I've seen.
The Empire Strikes Back, was it?
I don't know the original,
Yeah.
whatever it was.
The
Star Wars.
original one with Harrison Ford and Mark
Yeah.
Hamill. That was the only one I'd seen because Star Wars came out at the same time as Battlestar Galactica. And I love Battlestar Galactica. I thought it was 10 times the film Star Wars war, because I thought Star Wars pissed about with too much lovey-dovey stuff, whereas Battlestar Galactica had nothing but action in it. So I preferred Battlestar Galactica, and things like Alien that came out around the same time as well. It's when we really had proper sci-fi films, and I didn't consider Star Wars to be a proper sci-fi film. I thought it was a bit Mickey Mouse because it was too lovey-dovey. So I never really saw any of the others, but because I've watched these three series, which have all been filmed in the last couple of years, so they're actually very good. I mean, Ewan McGregor reprises his role as Obi-Wan Kenobi. And The Mandalorian, if you haven't seen it, Mickey, it's well worth a watch. 2 series now, with a third one to come very shortly. It is well worth a watch. That's on Disney. Did you get Disney Plus?
Yeah, yeah, I've got that. Yeah.
Mandalorian. Give it a watch. It's 2 series. It's well worth a watch. It's excellent. I've got a Mandalorian model to make.
Yes, I saw when you showed us all your.
Anyway, look, that's Doxy Rubicon. That red
that red
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah. What I was about to say was that is
So-
actually.
Sorry to interrupt you, Steve.
Yep.
You were on 4 drugs. You're now on 3. Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
I don't know why, but I always had the impression that they mixed them all together and put them all in together. But they do them one at a time, do they?
Yeah, they're doing one at a time.
Right.
The first one they give me.
Sorry. I mean, I don't know because I've never been unfortunate enough to be in that position. But I thought when you went on a Thursday to have your pick line changed, and they were deciding what to give you, I thought they were doing that because they had to mix them together. But obviously,
They have to prepare the rituximab,
yeah,
which is the big infusion. That's the one that takes hours. They have to prepare it according to my white blood count.
Ah, right, yeah.
Because the strength of it.
I was always under the impression because, like I say, I've not had the misfortune to ever be involved with anybody in your position. So I always thought that 3 drugs were mixed together. Obviously, they're not. They're done one at a time. Yeah.
One at a time. The first one is rituximab.
Right.
Then it's doxorubin, which is this red stuff.
Yeah.
Then it's cyclosporin, which is another cancer drug. Then it would have been vincristine. That's the one that causes the nerve damage, but they've stopped that one. And then the last drug is prednisolone, which is a steroid, which you take at home. From tomorrow, I've got to take 4 days at 100 grams, which is a high dose. Cool.
I'll just say I hope you didn't mind me asking, but
No,
it's quite insightful to
I'm actually quite happy to talk about cancer to anybody because there's a lot of people out there, and Jim, as you know,
he starts his next week, doesn't he?
Yes, he starts his on Tuesday. As you know, there's a lot of people out there that have yet to tread this path, and sometimes it comes as a complete surprise to them, like my friend Jim.
Yeah.
6 weeks ago, he had no clue that he had cancer, and then he went for a routine checkup, and he's told within an hour of having this routine X-ray that he's got a tumour. He's got lung cancer. So he was, 1 minute. I mean, he now in the last 4 weeks, he's had condensed into 4 weeks what I've just gone through in 8 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it came as a body. It's like you, Mick. It's like you suddenly going to the doctor tomorrow, and the doctor's saying, "Oh, by the way, you're riddled with cancer."
Yeah. Yeah.
It came as a complete shock to him. So I'm quite happy to talk about it because there are people that are there yet to tread this path. So
Yeah.
if there's anything they want to know, and I'm not, I have no shame, and I'm not embarrassed anymore.
Well, no,
there's a lot of downsides to it. A hell of a lot of downsides to it. But I don't see them as downsides. I always see that I don't. A lot of people see some of the treatments as obstacles. I don't. I see them as challenges.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The fact that I piss red for the next day is a challenge,
Yeah.
right? And I challenge myself to drink enough water to make myself piss yellow again. It's rather funny, really, because within 15 minutes of having that drug, I was going to toilet. In fact, that's where I met the guy in the wheelchair that first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was pissing red, and I was standing there thinking, as you do, that the human body's really amazing. 15 minutes ago, that was being infused into my arm, and now it's coming out in my urine.
Mm.
Which just goes to show how the body's systems are interconnected and how quickly it works.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, on its way through, your body must absorb.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I don't know. I've not looked into it. I've not looked into it that much of the mechanism of it, but it's obviously gone through my kidneys to have been processed out into urine. And the other one that I have, cyclosporin, that's a very slow acting one. Now the thing is, right, I may look all right to you because, as I said to you before I come on this stream, I'm absolutely knackered. There's something about coming on the stream that makes me perk up.
Perk up, yeah.
For the time of the stream, which is what I've done. I've perked up. But when they're putting all this stuff inside you, right, you know that there's something inside. Your body knows that there's something inside you, and you have to have this, which is ondansetron, which is an anti-sickness medicine. You've got to take that because your body knows that it's having things put in it. Because what you're doing is you're actually putting deadly poisons into your body to kill a deadly poison.
Yeah.
And your body knows that something's going on, and from the minute the infusion starts, your body wants to react to it. So you do feel nauseous. You feel like you're not actually going to be sick. You just constantly feel like you want to be sick.
Mm-hmm.
And you also get, it's like right now I can actually feel that my body is, there's something going on inside me, but I don't know what. But I can feel it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the worst bit about it, Mickey, the worst bit about it, right, is for the next week now, I'm going to have the chemo shits.
Yeah, yeah.
And you have no idea what the chemo shits are like. You have no idea. Basically, all this treatment is killing cancer cells. Now, what isn't spoken about a lot is where do those cancer cells go when they die?
Yeah, straight through.
They're excreted in your turds, right?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they are. They are dead flesh.
Yeah.
Oh. And the only way I can describe it is, I've done this before, right, is go fishing, get a mackerel, cut it open, leave it in the sunlight for 3 weeks, feed it to a skunk, microwave the skunk, then stick it up your arse. Right? That is what it smells like. And Magic thinks I'm on drugs, right? He's trying to say that one bottle of Newcastle Brown Ale equals 4 bottles of Foster's. Look, he's on drugs, that man. Newcastle Brown Ale is the world's first alcoholic-free beer. That's why their piss is so pure. Oh dear. It's taken all this time.
4.7 Newcastle Brown is. 4 is Foster's. It says you can read it on the bottle and you can read it on the packet. So Newcastle Brown is slightly stronger than Nat's piss, but not much.
Not much, yeah.
Do you know, back in the 80s, all of us used to drink fucking Foster's, I think. But I did look at the percentages. match, and I was agreeing with you. There's
I think they're lying.
0.7% difference.
I think they're lying.
Excuse me. God, I've got a fucking sneezes again.
So yeah, the long one is the rituximab. That's the one that takes hours, right? Because you're having so much of that. But you have about 500 mils put in, about a litre. No, I drink. I actually don't drink anymore. I drink very little now, don't I, Mickey?
Yeah, because of his
Because of the treatment.
Because of his operation, he had his
and the treatment I'm on. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I drink neat whiskey. That's normally about 42-44% ABV. Only single malts. I can't stand blends. I only drink single malts, and I prefer Highland gin or Lafroig. The beers I drink almost any beer. Almost any beer. I don't like dark beers, so Newcastle Brown Ale, Guinness, porters and stouts I don't like. Is Newcastle the one they used to make a drink up called Black and Tan, Mickey?
No, that was Guinness, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like dark beers. I like light ales. I like real ales. You've actually missed me when I was streaming. I can't go out now. But when I am allowed back out again, I should do my Sunday night stream from the pub. I've got a local real ale pub just round the corner from me, a micro pub, and they do some absolutely gorgeous real ales. And the ABVs on them are 5 and 6%. Oh, they are gorgeous beers. There's one that I really love, a Belgian strawberry ale, which is great. And they do some lovely IPAs, which are about the 5.7, 5.8 ABV. The Cloudy IPA, that's a gorgeous beer. No, I've never heard of a game called Bumblebee. Have you, Mickey?
No.
Let's take my chemo picture off before it frightens people. There we go.
Black and Tan's normally a Guinness.
Yeah.
With a pale ale.
All right, okay. My father-in-law used to drink that. And
it says
I didn't like it.
Why you should never order a Black and Tan in Ireland.
You should never order Guinness in Ireland. It's fucking disgusting. I don't like the taste of molasses in beer, and that's what Guinness is. It's molasses. I really don't like the taste of it.
They don't like you calling it a Black and Tan because I don't know if you remember back in history, the Black and Tans was a nickname given to the British paramilitary forces back in 1920-21.
So just so Matt, so what you're saying is, all you boys get together and you compare your turds. It's wrong on so many levels, isn't it, Mickey?
Sweet corn is, no matter how much you chew sweet corn, it always comes out the same as it fucking goes in, doesn't it? Which is very strange.
So do they all stand there and watch you shit? Seriously, you have your mate standing there watching you shit.
He probably just does it and then gets his mate to have a look. Look at that one. Eh? A bumblebee, that is. Look at that bumblebee there.
So, I can't ever say, I can't ever say, Mickey, come and have a look at my turd.
After you've just described your fucking turds, I don't think I want to. Thank you. I don't want to be in the same house, mate.
You don't. I'll tell you.
No,
You don't.
I don't. Fucking hell.
It's lucky. It's lucky my downstairs loo is a sealed unit, which means when I shut the door, and when I shut, the door's shut. Right, there's only one way for air to get out of the room, and that's via the extractor. It's got no windows in it.
Yeah.
And that's the extractor fan. So that's the toilet that I had my chemo shits in. It makes me heave. It really makes me heave. All right, I see it's a joke. Right, okay, it's a joke, yeah. I don't drink Guinness, so I really, really, really don't like dark beers.
I'm not a fan of Guinness, to be fair. I mean, I have drunk it in the past, but I'm not a fan of it. Why people rave about it, I don't know. But I like an IPA or something like that, to be fair, or a real ale, you know.
I've stopped streaming on Reddit, by the way, Mickey.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I'm starting to wind down now.
yeah.
I
I'm
don't
surprised
like.
you stayed this long, to be fair.
Hey,
I'm surprised you stayed on this long.
I'm really starting to feel it now.
Yeah,
I like IPAs, but only if they're from a real old pub.
yeah,
I don't like
yeah. From a
canned or bottles.
microbrew or something.
I don't like canned or bottles IPAs. They don't.
Oh,
There's something about them that's not quite the same.
yeah.
But when you get a proper one from a micro brewery on
I mean, we
draft,
get Green King round here. I quite like Green King IPA.
I'm not a great lover of that. It doesn't. That's a
No?
commercial beer. No, I don't like the commercial IPAs. Like everybody raves about Brewdog, but I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Uh, no, no, I've
No,
not seen that, Geordie.
I haven't,
No, I
much.
haven't.
No, no.
No, but I don't like canned IPAs or bottled IPAs at all. But I do like them when they've been freshly pulled.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Ah. Unfortunately, Mickey, as you can hear, I'm gonna have to go.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we've done an hour and 35 minutes. That's fine.
I know. Sorry, people. It's this is the problem with chemotherapy days.
He's only had
And it's
chemo today, and it just knocks him flat. So,
yeah.
like I said, I spoke to him before we came on and said, "Look, leave it tonight," but he insisted on coming on tonight. Like you said, that perks him up a bit. So
It does, but it's going.
yeah,
It's going right, people. Look, I'm sorry. I've got to go before I pass out. So I'll see you all tomorrow night. I hope, if I'm feeling better. It'll be me and Tracy, and I think Mickey might be joining us, won't you, Mickey?
I might do after I finish my gaming tomorrow night. Yeah,
Yeah. Right.
I normally do. Yeah, we'll see how we get on. If not, I'll be back on Monday as usual.
Right. Anyway, good night, all.
Good night, people. Stay safe. Keep your family safe. We'll see you later.